Good day, Trinidad and Tobago. I am Philip Edward Alexander, and I thought that we should have an actual, factual conversation about our situation and circumstances as a nation. In our brief 57-year history, we've moved from the third wealthiest nation in the Western world to broke. How broke? The Minister of Finance says he has difficulty paying public servants. How rich were we? After the United States and Canada, we were richer than Anguilla, Antigua and Barbuda, Argentina, Bahamas, Barbados, Belize, Bermuda, Bolivia, Brazil. We've been richer than the British Virgin Islands, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cuba. This Trinidad and Tobago was the third wealthiest nation in the Western world. Besides the United States of America and Canada, we were richer than Dominica, the Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador. We had more money than Grenada, Guatemala, Guyana, Haiti, Honduras, and Jamaica. We were richer than Montserrat, Netherlands Antilles, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, St. Kitts and Nevis. As the third wealthiest nation in the Western world, we were ahead of St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Suriname, Turks and Caicos, Uruguay, and Venezuela. Now, we're broke. In our brief 57-year history, we've gone from being wealthier than all of these countries to broke. How broke? Our Minister of Finance cannot find the money to finance our budgets. We're engaging in something called deficit financing, which means we're running the country on credit. We can't find the money to pay our public servants, and it's getting worse and worse by the day. So what happened in our brief 57 years to all that money? Where is our money? Disguised as projects and contracts, governments from Williams to Rowley have overseen the looting of this country. We've moved in 57 short years from being the third wealthiest nation in the Western world to being broke and in debt. We owe China, we owe the IDB, we owe the local banks, we must pay OY dilemmas, we owe everybody. We've moved from being the third wealthiest nation in the Western world after the United States and Canada to being broke and in debt. Where's our money? Why can't we account for simple accounting of our money? Why is it so difficult? There are companies in this world with more employees than we have people. Walmart has 2.3 million employees. McDonald's has 1.9 million employees. India Railways has 1.4 million. How do these companies manage their accounts and we can't manage ours? Some of these companies are far-flung all around the world. Why can't we, this dot in the sea, manage our accounts? Why can't the Auditor General, the Minister of Finance, the Central Bank Governor, and all of the above come to Trinidad and Tobago at the end of each 12-month cycle and say, our income was X, our expenditure was Y, leaving a net profit or loss of Z? And again, the question that this video wants to ask and wants to get you to ask is a simple one. We've had Eric Williams, George Chambers, Arthur Napoleon, Raymond Robinson, Patrick Manning, Basdeo Pandey, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, and now Keith Rowley. And the one common thread for all of those governments is we've lost money every single time. There is a rogues gallery of people who have been involved at the highest level of all of those governments. Political supporters of the two main sides, the Red Party and the Yellow Party, can shout expletives at each other and name names of red bandits and yellow bandits without seeing the irony that we are all losing every time. In 57 short years, we've gone from being the third wealthiest nation in the Western world to a land where nothing works. Blood runs in our streets like water. We argue about, was it 541 who died or 542? And instead of feeling sorrow and misery at our condition, we're arguing about which of the yellow side or the red side had more murders. We are an insane little nation. The question we need to be asking, regardless of which side of the political divide you sit on, 57 years later, if we were the third wealthiest nation in the Western Hemisphere, where's our money? I'm Philip Edward Alexander. And this video has been a little bit more than 3 minutes asking a very important question that you and every citizen of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, no matter where you find yourself in the world, need to be asking. 57 years later, where is our money? On the average day in Trinidad and Tobago, upwards of 250,000 people spend between 3 and 5 hours in traffic on their way to Port of Spain to work in government offices, only to repeat the same insanity at the end of the working day. Entire generations have been raised in the back seats of cars, and people have been talking for decades about how do we solve this problem. We've known since the 80s that the solution to that traffic problem and all of our traffic problems is to decentralize all of those government offices out of Port of Spain. We could essentially have virtual offices where people could telecommute from the communities they live in to do the same jobs they spend 5 hours getting to a government office in Port of Spain for right now. Decentralization would save us billions of dollars in lost man hours. The Progressive Empowerment Party proposes to decentralize out of Port of Spain all government offices to a new government campus in the center of the island, equidistant from all corners. This would facilitate a shorter commute for most people and prevent everyone trying to get into and out of Port of Spain at the same time. Have you ever noticed that when schools are closed, the traffic is less? This is because so many of our people have the ridiculous situation of having to drop children in constituencies far-flung from where they live or work, or have multiples of children going to school in different constituencies, parents coming from San Fernando dropping children to school in Chaguanas, Arima, Port of Spain. The Progressive Empowerment Party proposes, among other things, an education system that assigns a GPA to each child that would allow for the continuous monitoring of performance, making every school potentially a prestige school, and ending the need for choosing schools far-flung across the island, looking for the best opportunities for your child. If all our schools operate from under the same Ministry of Education, receive the same funding, are guided by the same syllabus and curriculum, how then do we explain some schools being prestige and others not? It is time to fix all of that, and fixing this and making it possible for children to go to school where they live will also end traffic. Between decentralizing and zoning of schools, all of that cross-island traffic that caused so much problems for so many would be gone. Isn't it time that we opted to operate this country more like a first world nation and less like a backwater banana republic? Why would we need to inflict so much misery on so many when the solution is so simple? Is it because friends and financiers of political parties own the buildings that the government offices operate in? Could it be something as heinous as that? Is it something that we could address and deal with from the position of putting the people of this country first and not the pockets and the profits of friends and family of those in office? It is time that we had a government in office that took the people's interest first, that recognized that the role and responsibility of government is the well-being and happiness of all the citizens of the country and not just a select few. We could fix all of this, including traffic and more. You have the opportunity now, you have the chance now to vote into office a government that can fix these problems, a government that is willing to face these problems, a government that's willing to come to you and discuss with you all of the issues that have us existing as a failed nation, a banana republic, a narco state, a hellhole. We could turn all of it around. Trinidad does have the capacity to be a beautiful place, a paradise, first world, one of the wealthiest nations in the world. But that won't happen if we continue business as usual and pretend that having upwards of 250,000 people drive across the island 3 to 5 hours morning and evening every day is anything that we need to continue. The country that we want is on the other side of our vote. The choices that we make now should develop and transform this country into a developed nation, a first world nation where we could all benefit. I am Philip Edward Alexander, and this has been a little more than 3 minutes to a better Trinidad and Tobago. Despite the security and convenience advantages offered, many have opted out of the formal banking sector and have chosen instead less traditional means of saving their money. Due in no small part to what some have termed rapacious and usurious fees and rates, the public find themselves in a position where deposits of funds in the banks lead to a net loss at the end of the year, making no sense to anyone at all. The traditional relationship is supposed to be one built on depositors' funds being made available to the banks so that the banks could make those funds available through credit to small businesses to stimulate development and growth. This would have the effect of buoying the economy and creating jobs, a net win for everyone. But that is not what occurs right now. The absence of banking service regulations creates an environment where the banks could do as they pretty much damn well please, leading to where we are today, money warehousing. The Progressive Empowerment Party advocates for strong financial service regulations, including setting and determining banks' lending and deposit fees so as to create an environment where the banks can continue to earn fantastic profits as they do right now, and also protect depositors from overzealous profiteering banks. Deposit fees, cash checking fees, over-the-counter fees, ATM fees, we're one step away from banks charging appearance fees. It is ridiculous. And someone has to speak about it. The public does not know who to turn to. The Financial Services Ombudsman seems to be a myth. The central bank governor and the Minister of Finance don't seem to understand whose responsibility it is to protect depositors and customers from ridiculous fees run amok. So the Progressive Empowerment Party will. We are engaging this conversation with the public, hoping to get the banks and those in government presently to do their jobs. If not, an election is around the corner. Vote the Progressive Empowerment Party into office, and we will ensure that while the banks are free to make all the profits they want, they will do so servicing and respecting the customers, paying interest on depositors' funds that they use to generate interest for themselves through lending credit, and not have to rely on advantageous fees leaking funds from customers' accounts.
What do you call it when a bunch of companies collude to set prices, fix markets, close off competition, capture regulators, and bribe politicians?
Another issue contributing to this lack of respect and service is the closed-off nature of our financial services sector and the lack of real competition among the banks. The Progressive Empowerment Party also advocates for an open market where banking and financial services are concerned. We would create an environment that invites international competition to help bring new, vibrant stimulation into the economy, creating an environment where all banks now have to compete for depositors' funds, creating the environment that we're looking for. I am Philip Edward Alexander, and this has been 3 minutes to a better Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. I'm looking at 19 cameras, so I'm not actually sure which one is mine. Good morning from Pep Studios. We're here with Pep Talks in the morning. I am joined in studio on such an auspicious day as Valentine's Day by the lovely and talented chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, Felicia Hola. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, sir. Oh, and good morning to all of the viewers. Happy Valentine's. Sorry, happy Valentine's Day.
Blow away everybody else.
Happy Valentine's Day to all the beautiful women of Trinidad and Tobago and abroad, and to all of our men. I don't have to describe them as beautiful, but all the men.
To the people who noticed that the show didn't happen yesterday, you all know this was a test week. So we had to realign and reassign a lot of things. And those things were done yesterday in what turned out to be a gap of no show. So we apologize because I didn't expect that you all would have gotten addicted in such a short space of time. Another thing is this: I have a dry sense of humor sometimes, and you shouldn't take me seriously when it sounds like it might be a joke. So when I tell you that my hairstyle was courtesy brush and mirror, don't message me to find out where they're located.
You lie.
I swear to you. Because I was going to make another joke today saying this outfit from cupboard and closet. But I might get more messages. So
Possibly.
listen, it's not so literal. You know, I have this one follower on Facebook. I'm not calling names Marissa. But and I had to tell her the other day, Freud himself, who introduced the world to penis envy and the power of a phallic symbol, also said sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. And not everything is to be taken so literally. You know? Today's Friday in the Royal Imperial Majestic Banana Republic of do what the hell you like land. So whatever you feel to do today, just do it. If it bothers people, okay, should not. And unless they make a complaint, you're pretty much safe. And depending on who they complain to, you can be safer still. This is a country that decided, I think Master Control told the technicians I'm moving my camera. Just now, let them point for me again. So which one highlight? Turn on the light on it. I'm looking for number 7. The one with number 7 on it. Okay, right. Yeah, this is a country that decided there are not enough deaths due to drunken carnage for Carnival. And if we don't have enough drunken deaths for Carnival, we need to take steps to up it. And someone else in that meeting must have pointed out, as we're on the increase of deaths, there are not enough drowning of drunken people. So they decided to throw a party in the sea. Yes, you heard it right, in the sea. And a lot of organizations in this country with responsibility and authority, which you think would be manned by people who have at least a cursory glance at what makes sense in the world, all agreed. Let's build a stage in the sea. Now, if you ever went to Maracas Beach and stand up in the water, you realize every time the sea come in and go back out, where you're standing, the sand below your feet gets a little more isolated every time as the sand around it goes. So I'm thinking, whatever the stage in the sea was supposed to stand on would slowly get isolated, because this is not Pigeon Point, where it's just water. Maracas is a wild and rough place when it's ready. And maybe they just vexed with Kes and don't mind it drunk or electrocute his ass. But the insanity of the concept. And I'm thinking, because, I mean, some of you would know there's a singer named Engelbert Humperdinck, but his name used to be John Dorsey. And there was a meeting where somebody suggested change your name to Engelbert Humperdinck, and I would like to be in that meeting. I would like to be in the meeting with, let's throw a party on the beach and put the stage in the sea, and see what the rest of the people around that table would have contributed to that suggestion. Trinidad and Tobago, I swear to you, if it looks like I'm not looking you in the eye, there are 1 million cameras watching me this morning. So I'm not even sure if the number 7 I'm looking at is the right number 7 or wrong number 7. But maybe when we take the break, they will
tell us which camera. Because I just realized that I am looking all over.
Yeah, you see?
Just give each one about 2 seconds of your time. But what was the outcome of that stage?
Well, I hear that Udicott, who not responsible for Maracas Beach, was the only one who gave a comment, and the spokesperson for Udicott Miss Wims was clear to point out that while they don't have an authority and they're not responsible, they gave permission, which I found weird. And I'm thinking, yeah. Right. And then Unicode also said that the tourism minister, Randall Mitchell, was the best man to talk to. And Randall Mitchell thought it was a brilliant idea. He is the one who said, this is a brilliant idea. Let's put a stage in the sea. Anyway, because it started to go viral, a man did a video about it. Now I'll talk about a couple other things. You're blocking off the beach. Drunken, sleepy people on Maracas Road. Let's finish the stage in the sea. Engineers have weighed in on the topic and said, no, Mr. Mitchell, it's not a brilliant idea. It's actually quite stupid, possibly dangerous. So UDCOT has rescinded the permission that it didn't have the authority to give, that it gave to the promoter who's not really the promoter, who's fronting an event for somebody else. And the more you read the story, you realize that's why Trinidad and Tobago was able to ship a container of cocaine to Norfolk, Virginia. Nobody shipping it and nobody receiving it. Trinidad and Tobago, we good like that. Today we're supposed to have a guest named Ghost. I think the whole country name is Ghost because ghosts get away with a lot of things. Moving from the stage in the sea, because now they're blanking that. They changed that. It's been rescinded. So something else is going to be done. I don't know. Maybe they'll put the stage up a coconut tree. Something has to be done to make
What
it.
fat is this, by the way?
Stage in the sea.
Okay.
I think that's the name of the show.
Stage.
They might have to change the name of the stage on the beach or something. But anyway, I am hoping the commissioner of police, who's watching this show right now as he gets dressed to go to work, Mr. Gary Griffith, Commissioner, Sir, Captain, I hope you are dispatching the entirety of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, armed with breathalyzers, at the gate of that car park, so that people who are leaving that fete drunk will not be allowed to drive on a very challenging North Coast road that challenges sober and awake people. People who are sober and awake have run off that road.
Yeah.
It's the North Coast road. A lot of people don't know. Some of them runoffs is 200-300 feet. By the time your car stopped falling, they are left to you. To have thousands of inebriated, wined-outed people who now bun, tired. The number one cause of death by vehicular carnage is something called distracted driving. Distracted driving is a catch-all term used for people who's texting while driving. So you're driving back from the party. Boy, let me post these pictures one time. I shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Distracted driving is a catch-all for drunk driving, high on weed and driving, just snort your mind blown full of coke and driving, or just otherwise sleepy and driving, texting and driving, trying to read a map and driving, eating a roti and driving, all the other things you're doing besides putting all of your attention to manage that multi-ton vehicle that you are hurling into space. And having that many people drunk and tired on that North Coast Road at one time seems like a prescription for carnage to me. Maybe it's a test. I have another follower named Dave. Dave said maybe it's a Darwin experiment that the stupid will get weeded out. But I'm thinking about the poor people who live down the hill from that North Coast Road, because plenty revelers can. I'm making light of a stupid situation.
No, you are, but
no, I'm trying to humiliate the people who thought that this was a good idea.
I mean, it clearly points to there having been no risk assessment when this party was planned. I don't even think they thought of
risk
I know
assessment.
I reach risk.
I think it's just common sense. Come on, man, don't be stupid. I was saying, no, not I saying any meeting. That should have been it. Don't be stupid. I'm fed on Maracas Beach, come on. A stage in the sea, are you just trying to...
When people plan in fetes, especially this is a carnival fete, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
When they plan in fetes, isn't there a meeting of the stakeholders involved? Because I'm sure there's going to be police or security at that fete. And
a lot of people have to give permission. The fire service have to give permission.
So nobody
inside have to give permission. That is a serene environment. Maracas Beach, you're not supposed to be allowed to play loud music up there because Maracas Beach is a dot in an otherwise green North Coast that has a lot of wildlife. But we don't care about that. Them Monkey and Dwen and Aguti go soca too. And then there's the whole idea of not even thinking it through. That Maracas is a safe haven to the people who want nothing to do with Carnival. There are a lot of people who want nothing to do with... I was listening to a song this morning, and I was my boy, but you're the chief operator at this problem. Soca seems to be, when a young boy gets his license, the first thing he wants to do is mash that accelerator and see how fast that car could go. I think there's a crop of soca artists trying to see how fast soca could go before it's just one note. You know, no, because it'll come down to one note just now. You know, we're running out of ways. We're in the speed of light now, and to the people who want nothing to do with that, they go Maracas Beach, because a lot of people can't stay home because they've put that noise on trucks, amplified it 1,000,000%, and sent it in your driveway. So a lot of people go to the beach, and now you fenced off the beach. And by the time this fete is done, 10,000 people, if the fete is successful, would have littered the beach with stag and carry bottles, and there'll be a lot more broken glass. So Maracas becomes an obstacle course because nobody says it's glass free, you know. And a lot of this is happening. Again, 1,000,000 messages right now. So let me just check these messages to see if any of it is important. Fire service will be responsible for inspecting and giving authorization only if it can be called safe. So to the chief fire officer, sir, one of your senior lieutenants just sent me that message. This falls to you. So anybody dies from the carnage, might be your responsibility. Trust me, nobody's going to authorize the stage in the sea. But then again, in this banana republic, anything can happen, yes. But I'm doubting this one. He say also, you maybe choke on my coffee with Dwens after soca too.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. So,
but I've seen it done before though, and not in Maracas. There was a fete I went to some years ago, beach house cooler fete in Carnage before, when they still had KFC.
in Chagaramas.
Chagramas, yes, that's Chagramas. Carnage is before Chagramas. Where a little bit after where they used to have where they built,
Shaka Cabana.
where they built
That was
this
Shaka
place
Cabana.
now. No, not down there, not so far.
Hey, I'm telling you, that whole waterfront was Shaka Cabana, starting from Pier 2. And right after Pier 2 was KFC.
Okay, well after KFC, where they building or they built this water park, they had a fete there, and they actually built a stage in the sea, but the water there is different from the water in...
No, because it's not the north coast.
Yeah.
The China has a leeward side and a windward side. And the leeward side have no waves. If you on the foreshore driving, or anywhere on that, on the heading south or heading north on that side of the island, from I guess San Fernando Hill to town, if you see waves, know that something big coming.
Yeah.
Because as the leeward side of the island, you're not supposed to get waves there. So you could put something in the water and it will take a long time for it to be affected. But Maracas is the windward side of the island. It's like the stupid idiocy of going to try to build a port on the north coast by Toko. That's probably the roughest water in Trinidad. So if they're going to budget 100 trillion, because I think we've lost sight of what money is now, so they might budget 100 trillion, and then they're going to come back and tell you, well, nobody foresaw that we need to spend 400 trillion stopping the water from destroying the $100 trillion with a port. And that's how we lose money.
Yeah.
And that's how we create debt that people's grandchildren are going to pay. The same people who come to support what they're doing now don't realize that their grandchildren will be paying $1 million for a box of cornflakes, because $9,900,000 out of that is tax to go back to pay the loan that bought $500 million Red House renovations and other such inanities. But the Royal Imperial Banana Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. Yesterday I had to confront the issue of people putting these red cones in the road to reserve parking. Now I thought this, people would put one or two, and you'd let them get away with it because, alright, but this building yesterday took an entire stretch of the road.
That's why it was so tough for parking. Yes,
So I got out and I moved the cones and I parked. And I did a live video and I sent it to the commissioner. And I asked him, on what legal authority do these people who put cones in the road rely? He answered with one word: none. That means it's illegal. You cannot put a cone in the road, and I don't care who you think you are and who you think come into your club. The vehicle I drive will crush your cone. I want you to know this. Don't put it in the road. The only thing my car is stopping for is pedestrians and cars. Anything else is fair game. And to the rest of Trinidad and Tobago, let us stop this cone in the road reserving parking thing now. Now, you stop it now. It is illegal. It's against the law. The people who are doing it are breaking the law. And they cannot reserve public parking for themselves at your expense. And if you're timid, call the police. Park up alongside it and dial 999. Tell them this is an emergency, because it is. The person who's doing it is causing an obstruction in the road. Have them charged, because that's what we need to do. We need to end all of these lawlessnesses. I'm using plenty wrong words today to see if the grammar police are weak.
What's the correct term? Lawless.
Lawlessness.
Just lawlessness?
Yeah, just added the S's like breakfast. Master Controller is telling me stop hitting the table because I'm making noise.
You're making noise, I'm sure.
Alright, so I think we're gonna take our first break now. At that time,
come back and talk some news?
Oh, go ahead, do your news.
No, I mean,
When you come back,
and talk
or when we
some
come back, we're gonna do news. So we're gonna take a short break, and as soon as Master Control tells us we're out, we're out. Are we out? We're gonna stare dumbly into the camera until we know for sure. They do people that all the time. And Master Control have a lot of power.
Most
They do people
reliable
that all the
and
time. And I
technically
would love to get.
experienced ICT company, providers of quality structured cabling, Cat6 data fiber, and power cables. We also stock cabling infrastructure basket type cable trays for server rooms and data centers. Antel also installs and maintains video security systems including cameras, alarms, and electronic entrance locks for businesses and residential properties. Call Antel 674-1406 or 783-9250.
Trinidad and Tobago is in a crisis. For far too long, our people have been abused and silenced by our politicians and the business elite.
Just look around you. People are losing their jobs. Crime is at an all-time high. Our justice, education, and health systems have failed.
We all know the truth behind all that is wrong in our country. Corruption is destroying us. Billions of our dollars are being looted by a small group of business people that use our politicians to divide and distract us.
So they can take what they want, leaving us with no hope for a better country.
All of this is because we've never had leaders who seek the interests of the citizenry as their first priority.
I am here because I'm not taking it anymore.
I am here because I am not taking it anymore.
I am fed up of politics as it is in Trinidad and Tobago.
It is time we elect leaders with the backbone and the love of our people to go after the corrupt, evil elements in our country, hell-bent on serving their own pockets while we suffer.
And it is time that we as a nation take a collective stand against wrongdoing.
So we are making a plea to the nation to rally behind us.
Because our freedom of speech is being threatened by those who don't want us speaking out on these issues.
A man that I greatly respect is one of those leaders fighting for a better country. His name is Philip Edward Alexander, and he has bravely challenged the people and institutions that are destroying our nation.
To date, he has been threatened with 5 lawsuits for having the courage to ask state agency UDCOT on why the renovations of the President's house cost $89 million.
When experts in the field have estimated that that job should have never crossed 20 million.
Where did the rest of our money go? We refuse to stand by and allow any agency to use our courts to try and silence and punish Philip or any other citizen of our country for trying to seek the truth.
If you're fed up of corruption and want to be a part of real change, support Philip and the Progressive Empowerment Party in this fight.
This fight is not for him or us to bear alone.
It is a fight for you, our loved ones, and our friends.
It is a fight for the future of our country.
You can help by making a contribution to Philip's legal fees and help him and PEP expose the truth and shine light over the darkness of corruption.
Go to our website at peptt.com, click on donate, and see all the ways you can pitch in.
There is hope. Our country can be saved, but we all need to stand together. My name is Felicia Holder, Chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support.
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 I support. I support.
I support.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
Check it out, 9 o'clock in the morning. 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 9 o'clock on the dot, and you can't reach the wall. Why? There's a flood on the road. 9 o'clock on the dot, you're in the same spot. Why? Organized crime, this organized crime. Everywhere you turn, crime and more crime. White collar crime, blue collar crime, no collar crime. We running out of time. We ask people to call in and give us their suggestion.
Philip, you live?
I'm live now?
Yes. Master Control, where's that one?
No. He doing your thing this morning. I want to tell Chantabago. Satish like one of those children when you were small and would just do your wickedness for doing your wickedness sake. I want to say that my news feed is very interesting this morning. The 3 things that grab my attention is Hatim Khan posted, "Love yourself enough to leave the table when respect is no longer being served." As leaving the chicken done. Somebody else post. Patrick Watson post. Is it normal or indesirable to have a wedding performed under Christian rites in the Red House or in any of the places where the state through the Registrar General's office performs marriages? Just asking. Well, there's Marshall Montano getting married, and Tiffany Young from San Fernando gave us a traffic update. She said Friday morning, traffic forecast is traffic in all your mothers. 20 people coming from south. That's an update. We will update further. And the news with Felicia Holder is up next.
Good morning, Jonathan. No. Like we started doing for the beginning of the week, talking about some of the top headlines, because I know some people this morning while they're getting ready for work or they're driving in that mother ass traffic to Port of Spain. Sorry, I have to be going through that. I know they will be tuned into this program, and we are here to give you some of the top news stories. And coming from the Daily Express this morning with a lovely picture of Mr. Ansel Roger. The caption is, "Not Patriotic's fault." It is not Patriotic Energies and Technologies' fault that there has been a delay in the negotiations for the purchase of the Pointe-à-Pierre refinery. Patriotic says it has to determine the value of the refinery and the nature of the repairs that are required before it can purchase the former Petrogen facility. I was going to stop there anyway. I was planning to stick a pin right there.
So we've sold something that we didn't know the value of to a buyer that didn't know the value of and reached an agreement and then varied the agreement.
It just keeps getting more and more absurd.
A progressive empowerment party government will undo the madness of this PNN. Petrotrin will become back the property of the state. Now I don't care whose fingers we have to unravel from holding on to state assets. And I want to let you know this clear as a bell, that the same way the state kicked down people's rights in Curep and in Tobago to take wherever they wanted, when they wanted, we'll do the same thing for Petrotrin and bring it back and give it back to the people. And we'll make sure that the people who needs to be wrapped on their knuckles for playing the fool with state assets are properly wrapped on their knuckles. And I think I'm going to start with corn. And that gives us a good segue, because this week we're starting something called the Crocus Bag of Ass Awards. And what that is basically who you think for the past week made such a mockery of themselves that they deserve to win the Crocus Bag of Ass Awards. And we will be taking your calls to suggest who you think should get a Crocus Bag of Ass Award, and why. You could WhatsApp me on 682-2110. You could text message me to Philip, but I don't think anybody in the world besides my mother uses text anymore. You could WhatsApp me, you could text me, or call 347-4737. You could call 347-4737. You could WhatsApp Felicia.
Call into my number.
Not offhand.
769-4590, or you can call 682-2110. Also, if you just want to call and wish your significant other or your wife or your girlfriend or your side chick or whoever happy Valentine's.
Do it on another show, not this one. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not. Don't give it this sappy. You know.
Sounds like somebody who doesn't like love. What's wrong with you?
Doesn't like love. I don't like the complete commercialization of everything. I don't like the fact, and I don't know how to say this, because they paint men into a corner. A man can have a position on diamonds and engagement rings that the Bears, the biggest in the world, recommends should be 3 months salary. 3 months salary.
For what? For a wedding ring?
An engagement ring. They recommend 3 months salary, and to a hungry man outside there who have late payments on the car and holes in the drawers, to take 3 months and buy a rock and put it on your hand. I mean, it's supposed to symbolize love, and they paint us into this corner with really effective marketing. She said yes to a rock. People forget that this Hallmark wedding and all of this is a made-up construct on what a wedding used to be. And a wedding, as Marshall is making a mockery of it today in the Red House, and Arifet tonight, a wedding used to be the transfer of property back not that long ago when women had no rights. Women were full people. They were a third of a person. They had about as much rights as a goat. No joke. And a woman couldn't own property. So she was herself considered property. And a marriage was the transfer of ownership of that woman, property, entity, from her father to the man that married her, who paid for her. How we reach from there? How we reach from who gives and who takes this woman to men on their knees? How did we get there?
Maybe this is them making up for all the centuries of treating women like property. Now,
that started in the Dark Ages. And I don't understand why women allow that to begin with, but that's a whole other conversation.
It is, but you don't think it's romantic though? Women proposing to men these days. I saw this guy Crean saying his girlfriend proposed to him with a box of pizza and said, "Will you marry me?"
Somebody wanna marry Crean? Marry her. Crean, marry her now. I'll come and perform the rites. Listen, I'm serious. If somebody willing to marry Crean, marry that woman, because Crean is a handful. Good guy, but he's a handful. Imagine there are some people that a marriage to them might be a life sentence. Can you imagine being married to somebody like Stuart Young? Yep.
Calm.
That woman. I mean, she getting her millions, but she deserves a national award for taking him off the market. There are other people. I mean, there's somebody else. Anyway, you know what? I ain't getting into these people's personal lives. But if you wanna suggest who should win, we just got a missed voice call from Rat. Somebody have saved my phone as Rat. I want a better name to save you as, please. Yeah. Maybe I should turn my ringer on. Satish told me to turn it off. So,
Yes, and I call.
speakerphone, so we can hear it too.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
I'm calling because I have a concern about something. The petrol trend. Recently they said they're selling it, and recently I hear he said they're giving ex-petrol workers land. Is he contradicting himself, or what really going on there?
They say they're giving ex-petrol workers land?
Yeah, in petrol.
This is just a mad feeling.
Recently the Prime Minister said so.
Brother, all I can tell you is, right now, Trinidad is a mad place, being run by mad people, and as soon as is practically possible, as soon as an election could be called, run, don't walk, to the voting booth and vote them out. Yeah?
Run, so, I think now we'll going.
So we can fix it. Alright? We'll deal with it. Thank you for your call, my friend. Anything else you want to say before I go?
No, well, right, this place really a mad place because so much murders, over 70 murders for this year already.
Yep, plenty angry people.
It's like you gotta lock yourself with a box and remain inside.
Somebody just messaged me to say I'm breaking Felicia's heart. My friend, thanks a lot. Do you have anything else? Anybody want to wish happy Valentine's? You want to contribute a name to the Crocus Bag?
No, I don't celebrate Valentine.
I agree with you. Any that costs every money, I ain't celebrating anymore.
I agree.
I only celebrated free holiday. You gone?
He hung up with that one.
Are you sure? I don't know. I don't understand this phone. This is the phone that I don't understand.
Yeah, he's gone.
I like limbo. We free.
How are you breaking my heart or what?
That's what he said. I think it's about the roses.
Oh. The fact that you...
Oh, all the things I'm talking about now. It look like you are one of those romantics.
Me?
That waiting for Mr. Right to show up on a white horse. You know, they're really making it hard for men, eh? Where the hell are you finding a white horse? Half a Chinese. I mean, you might borrow a donkey and paint it white.
My friend got an underwater proposal. As in, they went to Tobago and they did scuba diving, and while they were underwater, he proposed to her.
That's crazy thing. People putting ring in cake and ring in champagne, and what made the woman choke? What happened she choke on the ring?
Maybe that's a sign of things to come. Most marriages, well, about 50% and then divorce anyway, right?
A lot of people plan for the wedding though. I think that's now the engagement has to be filmed. So I think that, you ever watch Law and Order?
As for you, not the...
You know how Law and Order starts? Like you're walking through a random car park and you're sensing that something going wrong. Because all Law and Orders, you could tell that something's about to happen because you feel like you're in a Law and Order moment.
Yeah.
If you're out on a date and you see suspicious looking people with cameras, he going to propose. Because they're just using... I don't know. I don't want to knock it. People bored and they're trying to make the most of this life, and I respect that. You know, enjoy yourself, and if this way you want to do it, do it. But no, I mean, I find that people spend so much effort on things like having the engagement captured. So it's not spontaneous. It's not spontaneous. It's planned and it's now being choreographed.
I don't know about that,
You
but
could have
I mean,
whole bunch of people dancing around
she's
you.
going to remember this for the rest of her life. Remember, and that's what they're trying to do. Make sure that
What
the movie
nonsense
is
you
perfect.
talking? Some woman, the average woman gets married 3 times in her life.
So then what?
I just made up that.
I'm like, where you got those statistics
I
from?
want to see if she would like pass. I don't know, woman, but if 50% of people get divorced, what, they don't get back married again? Trevor,
Okay, love cynic. What do you...
I am not a love
You are
cynic.
a love cynic this morning. For all the people celebrating Valentine's this morning, don't let Philip...
Hey, what way you going? I might be the ultimate romantic, you don't know. But we're running out of things to do. You're making it harder. Man had a skydive to you to bring a ring.
That is not true.
Train the dog to show up with the ring.
I was watching this meme last night with this couple. It's a picture, and this couple, they're at dinner, and her mouth is just like, and the guy just obviously proposed. But the point of the meme was the couple captured in the background of the photo where you're seeing a man and a woman, and she's like, and the man's face just sour, and the meme caption was, "This man gonna hear about this proposal for the rest of the day."
But true, boy. Andy Cap, you all remember that cartoon, that comic strip, Andy Cap? I remember this one comic where Andy Cap, most Andy Cap comics were spent with Andy Cap at the bar drinking. And this guy walked in the bar and said, "Bartender, I'm getting married, drinks for everybody." And then you see 4 panels of just Andy and nothing being said. And then the 5th panel, he said, "For every one man that speaks positively about marriage, 100 men keep quiet." And Trevor Smith just said that, you see that look? Everybody watching and seeing that and saying that Felicia is a romantic and Philip is a cynic, because Philip just not allowing. But no, I like romance. I just don't like the fact that it has to be ostentatious and it has to be.
But it doesn't have to be though, and I know you're talking a lot
pushing
about
the bar,
this.
they're raising the bar higher and higher.
Philip, because that you're trying to say that there's some women who don't like the simplicity of it. So as much as there are women who would appreciate the underwater proposal, some women would like it if they wake up one morning and he said, and she wake up and she has a ring on her finger. That's romantic too. It doesn't have to be at the top of Mount Everest and stuff like that. You're putting those pressures on your own self, trying to top whoever friend or the last guy or.
Yeah, so you take her on a trip where you climb Mount Everest together, and halfway up Mount Everest, a random goat comes into the camp, and that goat has the ring tied to his bed. That's where it's going. That's where it's going. And I ain't going there yet. I think the best marriage proposal is, whoa, wait, doing the rest of your life. You wanna be? You wanna be that special person I can annoy for the rest of our life? That's a proposal. Be honest. Because every day after that, she had to look at you and compare you to the man who put that much effort into the proposal, and now you ain't putting back down the toilet seat, or you're not even covering back the toothpaste. And those 2 things are actually listed as the number 1 and 2 reason for divorce: toilet seat, toothpaste.
Seriously?
Serious? You can Google it. When you tell people that you can Google it, people so lazy. They say, "Ah, he wouldn't have said you could Google it if it wasn't true."
Actually Google it.
But they have some people on my newsfeed would Google it and say, "Philip, you're talking nonsense. Put your name down on that crocus bag of ass list." Yeah.
As we're talking about that, I wanted to add, because we need to wrap this nonsense that we're talking up.
But we here for Ghost, eh? Ghost, you.
It's kind of his fault that we went down this.
Yeah.
This part.
Anyway, Colm. So far we already have Colm on the list, but I think
Moses, definitely.
Who?
Moses. Oh God, what's his first name again?
What's he do?
Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs.
He making it this?
Yes.
What he did?
Sending the masks to
China? Is he did it?
Well, he was one of the responsible.
I thought that was the most hilarious thing I've ever heard.
And he was one of them who said that
for sending masks to China that were made in China, Dennis Moses.
But not just that, the quantity that we sent though in comparison to the population of China was like we were talking about it, it's like literally a drop.
Yeah, like a starving nation, and we send 1 Oreo. Share it. No, that's. So we have called Ember and Dennis Moses, and everybody saying who? Because he's one of those fellas like they hunt. that nobody cares about and nobody wants to know. The only reason people remember Edmund Dillon is Edmund Dillon thief a whole house. I want to tell you something. To get notorious in the PNM for thieving something is a job by itself. Because that's what the PNM does. PNM is, you cannot get past level 4 if you don't thief something unique. And I think that as a Minister of National Security, stealing a house and then moving him to Minister of Housing as rewarding him for the successful stealing of a house, I think that, I'm not putting you on the list, you just forgettable. But does this country, we have a Prime Minister who for 31 years denied the existence of his 2 sons. For 31 years, Keith Rowley signed documents, sworn documents that the above I believe to be true to the fullest extent of my knowledge, and said he only had 2 children, 2 girls. So that means his 2 boys, besides the fact that you stereotypically left them in a world to grow up fatherless, Keith Rowley said to the nation, HDC was picking up the slack for negligent fathers. And I wondered if his children grew up in a HDC house. Because your father is a member of parliament, a senior cabinet minister. He's in cabinet food, drinking cabinet wine, living cabinet life. And you in school telling people your mother had no man. And use a random occurrence. A hit it and quit it result. And that's sad. Because you're the Prime Minister. And if you're going to do anything at all, buddy, take responsibility for the things that you've done. The things that you've said. Spend a day, spend a week, spend a month with Trinidad and Tobago, going back over all the things that you say that you now contradict yourself on, and clear the air. Before lambasting any other father for being negligent, explain to your 2 sons and the rest of the country how you got away with lying about them. I could just imagine if Donald Trump, if they found out Trump have 2 other children that he never named or claimed, the media, the talk shows and the comedians would be taking Trump apart. My whole news feed, there are about 7 people who anything that's wrong in the world is Trump's fault. And I'm not defending Trump, but I'm just saying, in a real country, that's how people treat their leaders. We bring your bullshit to you. And I just find that Keith Rowley is the most, I think he demonstrates a dexterity with the double tongues in his mouth. Because the things that he says all the time that contradicts the things that he did in his life. And the fact that PNM supporters, whoever may still be considering themselves a PNM supporter, don't have the self-respect. I think cognitive dissonance killing them. That you're hearing the truth, you're seeing the truth, and you still believing the lie. Which is it, Keith Rowley? The HDC taking up the slack for negligent fathers? Or is the real problem fathers who don't take responsibility for their children? You are a living example of that. And every time you think to castigate other fathers without knowing their circumstances, while you lived heavy and high on public funds, hush. Because I'll be here to come and remind you that you are the last one to talk.
Indeed.
And then there's Stuart. Who's talking about consorting with criminals, members of parliament consorting with criminals. And he raised a gang member. And her mother buffed the whole nation about her daughter is not a criminal. Ma'am, your daughter was found on top of a mountain of drugs. If she is not a criminal, who is? Maria Daniel, I putting you on my list. You, for your audacity and bold-faced brazenness. You deserve, Maria Daniel, from Ernst & Young, you deserve a Crocus Bag of Ass award. I think you should get it delivered on Valentine's Day, complete with a rose stem. You've demonstrated what people who consider themselves elite in this country take for granted, this entitlement. And you're entitled to talk about people shouldn't be washing them out and other people cheering, and always be talking about, but he was a good boy. And always making fun of all, you're too wicked. But my whole response to you, your letter to the paper, sounded like you telling the whole of Trinidad, oh, you're too wicked. Ma'am, nobody starts with a mountain of drugs. You start with a 5-piece. It's like when Davy Boodoo Singh borrowed Michael Pillai's amp and rented it out. Started a company called Rent a Amp. People who get into drugs start off with a couple and see if they could move it, and then you catch, then you lock up, and they make a little profit, and they grow from there. So when your daughter Christina received shipment in Regent's Park with her staff, when the police showed up, they were organizing the inventory. She didn't start there, ma'am. And it's not my fault or anybody else in Trinidad and Tobago's fault. If anybody need to take blame for where Christina finds herself today, it's you and Stuart. And you need to look long and hard in that mirror. Where were you? Where were you
when your daughter became a whole drug lord?
Watch now. This child I even do it hiding, you know. She was calling mommy. Her videos from when she was barely legal was a cry for help, and all then Stuarty was there eating cornflakes in the morning in his tighty whities. So you can't abandon the child now that the tree is full grown and bearing fruit. You were there when the tree was being bent over, partner. Stuart Young. Yeah. You. And we need to listen. I like to own my shit. See how I talk? I don't mind. You know me, because everybody know me. Talk to me. Talk about me. I have no problem. There is a price you pay for being in public life. You see the people who want to sue for everything? Come on, man. People will be able to tell. The PNI made a list of things they want to accuse me of. People just fling it back in their face. Now come on, man, go on with all your nonsense. You have to work with what your eyes see. And I'm telling you this, Maria Daniel and Stuart Young, they have to be the most, I don't even think I have to find a word. I don't even think I know a word. The hypocrisy in calling out other people. Yeah. Stuart Young is the Minister of National Security in a government that appointed a criminal not once, not twice, but 3 times the cabinet. Until the police finally went and just locked she up. Marlene McDonald was quoted in the newspaper as saying the people of Sealots don't want a police officer for their representative in Parliament, in the council, because you're hiring an informant. Forget the fact that the police officer broke the law, Jane O'Connor, the Calypsonian. Forget the fact that Tuco is a PNM party group. I mean, this country is so broken and twisted and rotten from the inside. And every single disease that you have, every symptom this country has, if you go to a proper doctor, he'll say, yes, it looks like you have PNM. Because it comes down to them. And it comes down to that. It comes down to a corrupting. Corruption is not only money, you know, but a lot of it is money. But corruption is a spoiling. That's what corruption means. The only thing in the world that is incorruptible is salt. And that's why salt is the measure. But everything else, the PNM touch, especially this PNM, turns to go barrel. And I think if we really took ourselves seriously as a nation, we would call these people out. Somebody said the election of this government to office was rotten in the womb. And I don't disagree. They've done nothing of value or substance for anybody in this country. We've lost everything of value, even self-respect. between 2015 and now. 2010 to 2015 was that time. Yeah, take it.
Did I just show you?
I think so.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sweetheart. How are you?
Oh, sweetheart, good morning. This sounds like our...
I will stick a pin in it.
It sounds like Matthew. Matthew?
Yes, it is, darling. Yes, it is.
Good morning, good morning.
Spoken like somebody who accustomed to getting calls from Matthew. Good morning, darling. Matthew, I didn't recognize your voice, so I like it.
He tried to call this phone before. Relax yourself.
Well, I'm doing my morning routine of telling everybody happy Valentine's Day.
Well, boy, you will run out of money on that phone.
I'm going for postpaid.
You know you're a next sweet man. This party a real sweet man. Me, I hold my call. Today you dial my phone, you'll get the number you have dialed. Matthew, how's things in your neck of the woods? What's going on?
Good. Everything on my side good. We had a meeting in the hub last night. Doing some strategies and how to move forward with the constituencies now.
Nice. It's a busy time for Pep.
Yep, it is.
It's a busy time.
Definitely it is.
So besides flirting with Felicia, you called for a reason?
What?
I said besides flirting with Felicia, you called for a reason?
No, it's just a flirt at all.
Okay, thank you for calling in, Matthew. Happy Valentine's Day to you too. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, take care. All right.
That's Matthew Gibbs, is the head of the central hub of the Progressive Empowerment Party. And, yeah.
Paula Weeks has officially declared the beginning and end days and times for Carnival 2020.
$100 million properly spent on that 1 week, 15 minutes worth of work. That's why we need a president. To declare Carnival open.
I left for I'm lost for a comment further because I saw the article and I was reading through to see, I thought that was the opening line, but this was the point of the entire article. She has declared the days and the times because Google didn't.
Every time I go in the kitchen, I channel my inner Paula May and declare my fridge open. That's her whole job. That's her whole job. That's her whole job. Our presidency is a joke.
Listen.
They've made a mockery of Trinidad and Tobago, and I will use every opportunity to expose every single one of them. We're getting a very important WhatsApp here, and it says, somebody sent me a picture of a crocus bag. I have this crocus bag, friend.
That's the crocus bag of
Yeah,
ours.
I have it. I have this crocus bag of ours. So,
and some depressing news, some environmental news. A recent global report shows that the leatherback turtle population is now on a decline and the species has been downgraded to critically endangered. The report says there have been major reductions in returning leatherbacks to various countries. Oh, this is actually good news, except one, Trinidad.
I thought I read another article that says Trinidad was the #1 place for leatherbacks in the world now. Who you could trust? 500 million years the leatherback turtle survived, and then 2,000 years of man, we make enough turtle soup to decimate the whole population.
Have you ever been to...
You're going to ask me if I ever had turtle soup. I've been to turtle watching. I've been to turtle watching.
I've actually never been, and it's something I'd really...
Seriously?
I've never been.
You will be underwhelmed.
Really?
The amount of effort you had to put to do it. I mean, it's better to take in the spectacle from the comfort of your living room.
I need to understand
on Discovery Channel.
This one is weird. Hold on 1 second. Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Miss Holder.
Yes, morning.
Is this Pep Talk in the morning?
Yes, it is. You're live.
To Prime Minister in meeting, Mr. Alexander.
Oh, you remember me too. I said before this call Felicia this morning. Yeah, good morning.
Yeah, this is Henry.
Hey, how you going, buddy?
I'm good. Alright, well, two things, if I may. Well, I only just tuned in, so I'm not fully up to speed as to what the topic is this morning.
The topic is we talking nonsense, so you're up to
Friday,
speed.
so we're running loose.
All right, good. Well, okay. So here's is it alright if I appeal?
Go ahead.
Okay. In San Grande, the road was paved after probably about 40 years last year. That thing work was so shabby that it has to be redone. They have started scraping the road probably about 2 weeks now, and apparently they have stopped. So you're driving through what was supposed to be a smooth road, and you suddenly you find yourself finding out all that's wrong with your car because
But you see,
pumps continuously.
no, but you see, there's a technique, right? What they do is they come and scrape the surface and leave it off for about a month. So you're frustrated and you're stressed over the fact that every time you had to drive that stretch of road, you're going through all that drama. So when they finally come and pave, you're happy they pave. That's no serious. That's literally. That's shock doctrine.
I think there's another reason because it was built just before the local government election. So that was part of the election ploy to make people happy that they've been driving on bad roads, as you say, for so long, so that they're happy. And with the general election in the not too distant future, I'm thinking so they dig back up the bad work and they're trying to stretch it out to closer to election to pave so people will smile again and we get smooth roads again.
You think people still so stupid? I mean, we out of the caves long enough now to tell fire from sunlight. I don't think that people could be so easily fooled. I may be wrong. I think Trinidadians ready to throw the frame in that voting booth and get rid of all of these mocking pretenders. If you watch the numbers, people, and they could try all the stunts they know how to stunt. And I think that if you look at the mad rush and feeding that taking place with all these projects they're trying to do in this 1 year, I think they realize that they're going to be comprehensively fired. I think that this loss going to destroy the PNM. And so they're just trying to thief wherever they could thief.
Well, people really need to wake up and
you have a member.
Smell the coffee and do the right thing for themselves, for the country, the future generation.
You have a member in your hub who recently suffered 2 tragedies.
Yes.
Tell us about those tragedies, because I want to make an appeal to everybody watching for assistance for this young lady. I don't think you need to name her yet unless she wants her in public.
Yeah.
But you could tell her story if you want.
Well, with the little few dollars that I have to pay on my phone, let me see if I can.
Or you want me to give I could give my version of it, but you could give as much as you could before you run out of money.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. So in the first instance, her house was burnt maliciously. So says the authorities, but they couldn't find anything to try to prosecute anybody. So her house was burned flat, and again, thanks and she's always in praise for the members of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and especially youth, Mr. Alexander and Tony. Just last today was Friday, so it was Wednesday. I think it was. Yes, her house was vandalized. She went back home after spending all of Wednesday in the office, PEP's office in Arima, and only to find everything that she has in her possession after everything was destroyed. What people helped gave her, what she picked up and gave for herself, every single thing, even her clothes, even her some medication because she's diabetic, all from food stuff, pots, pans, even her stove, every single thing they have made of it.
So you this is not a bad lucky person. You think that this is somebody that's doing something to her?
Well. I mean, I don't wanna point fingers, but I honestly believe so. No, without casting aspersion, it is a heavy
No, Anthony,
area.
I want the information for the commissioner, and I will get it to him. But what I want to know is, if members wanted to help right now, what does she need?
Well, she needs a stove. She needs cooking utensils, all whereas anything that goes to the house, because she has been totally wiped out. Totally.
Okay, well,
Food stuff and all, you know?
if you could get a list to me so I could publish it on my Facebook page, we're going to start the work, and I personally will get involved and assist in something like maybe the wares or something, right? So send me the list, and we'll deal with it from there. Yeah?
I'll do that. And imagine, on top of all that, she's organizing herself now to go back to the office this morning.
That's a real patriot. That's a real patriot. Thanks for raising that issue, Anthony, and thanks a lot for calling. Have your last minute close with Felicia before you go.
Bye, Anthony.
Bye. Happy Valentine's, everyone.
All right, buddy.
Enjoy the rest of your day. I actually met, I don't want to call her name live on air to put her in that situation or expose her like that. But this particular member that is going through all of this series of unfortunate events, or I have to say possibly deliberate events, actually came on board the PEP when she heard myself and Christoph. We had an interview for local government elections on one of those radio stations with Jason and Blaze. And she called me right after the show because I gave my number, and she messaged me. She found me on Facebook and she said, I'm from Toko, and first time I'm hearing about the party, but your song that you really, and ever since then, she has been, I told her get involved, and she actually did get involved. And like he said, she is one of our strongest patriots.
They have two types of people that find their way to PEP. People who want a better Trinidad and Tobago and see the Progressive Empowerment Party as a vehicle for that, so they put on blinkers and they get to work.
Yeah.
And then they have those who see PEP as an opportunity for them to further their own, and they don't last long.
I have to say though, thankfully we attract 99%.
Yeah, but I'm saying, so the agenda whores, they don't last long, because the rest of the party is people who trying to build a movement to fix a country, to rescue it. So if you just hear on your own agenda, But speaking about people who shouldn't be breeding, I was
as in BREE
making children, tire tubes. The owners of the bar on Carlos and Arapita, where these Venezuelan women were rescued by the police, detained, however you want to call it. A spokesperson, I will leave it for that for now, for the family, in a conversation with me the morning after, because I'm trying to find out how exactly this has been going on in your bar, and you're saying you didn't know about it.
Yeah.
A spokesperson for the family was telling me, but the whole of the avenue, it's so. So I said, so that's your justification.
That's like P&M thief, but you want to see thief too?
Right. That's exactly it. And that's the point. That exploitation of Venezuelan women is the nature of the day in Trinidad and Tobago now. So they need rescuing. And the only rescue Trinidad and Tobago has shown them is to exploit them. But what's worse is the people who found their way here and are being exploited, that's bad. But what's worse is the women who have been kidnapped and human trafficked to Trinidad. And apparently there's a lot of them. And they get here, they have no papers, they have no passport, they have no ID, they have nothing. They're beholden to the people who own them. And how is this not slavery? How are we not treating with this as slavery? Sexual slavery. There's a continuous act of kidnapping. And to hear this person tell me, it's not them alone. And I'm thinking, we wouldn't know about these things if it wasn't for Gary Griffith. If Gary wasn't, and his team wasn't working so hard, and I'm wondering, to the people who counting the murders, I'm wondering what the murders might not be if he wasn't there. And I really think, given the right support and the right tools, Gary will do an amazing job. And I was talking to this spokesperson, and they own the bar across the road, and they own the next bar up the road, and this bar is their bar, and they own the property, and the license is in their name, so that means they have to go to court every year and renew it. But it's saying that these people operating there for 3 years and they didn't know what they was doing. On my Facebook, an agent for the people ostensibly renting from them messaged me and said to me they'd like to give me their side of the story and to clear up any misconceptions I might have. I've not responded yet to them because I'm not sure what my misconceptions might be. We're in a place in Trinidad where we are confronting a lot of our national misconceptions of how things should be, and in the absence of leadership, people look back and say, well, before the Venezuelans was here, they used to use the Trini girls too, and Trini girls was doing that too. Alright, whatever. And there should be a national conversation about sex workers. Should people be allowed legally to function as a sex worker, and then given all of these protections and the support and allowed to pay taxes? What are you? Join a union, correct? You know, because this is a joke, but a woman was trying to get a bank loan, and they said you have to put on an occupation. So she put on chicken farmer. The truth is, we need to have these conversations so that the exploitation could stop. Yeah. That if there are women, and we don't face the truth of nothing in this country, if they didn't have women in the world, I think Trinidadian men wouldn't even have language. Everything we do is for women. Men, when you see a man running around the savannah, no man running around the savannah just for so. Trying to attract some woman.
Speaking of which, did you walk the savannah yesterday?
No. But as a nation, we have to stop being hypocritical and start addressing these issues front on. Because you're not going to get representation. Now, I also want to say that I think the lack of real opportunities for people is what leaves people no choice. But I can't speak for them because I've never had a meeting of all the prostitutes and sex workers. So I'm thinking that maybe somebody should.
And that somebody should be you.
No, I'm not saying it should be me. I'm just saying, don't make that a joke. I'm just saying that there should be a symposium and break the taboos. Bring it out in the open. If you think that this is what you do for a living and you want to be doing this for a living, shouldn't you have that right?
I agree. And sorry for the
prudes
and the Bible thumping women, but if you as a legal, when I say legally above age, and you have looked at all of the career opportunities in front of you, because I mean as children we sit down and we say I want to be this and I want to be that.
Everybody want to be a fireman until you find out fireman don't make plenty money.
If you have looked at all your prospective career opportunities and you decide and you land on prostitution, who am I to police what you do? And I say this again, of course, very much underscoring the fact that you should be legal and we should actually make it so that you have other opportunities.
They call it
it shouldn't be the scrape in the barrel and is what you have to.
They call it the oldest profession in the world.
Prostitution.
It is. It is prostitution that taught people commerce. Okay. The first real exchange was prostitution when women had power. But I know that Limmer McLeod Wilkinson and the rest of the leadership of the PEP Women's Arm are talking about doing a symposium on women's affairs. I mean, since Lima, who is also a deputy political leader of the party, since she took up this mandate to head the women's arm, she's found her niche.
She has.
She's found her place, and she's raised issues, because in the initial meetings months ago, we spoke about, and she asked questions about where it should go. And now she's taken it to a level I didn't even know it was possible to do outside of government. And she's raising real and searching questions and bringing issues to the fore that are making some people uncomfortable, because she's talking about all the challenges that affect women and some of the challenges that women inflict on themselves. And I know that they're planning to have a symposium, and I look forward to that conversation. I hope she could find a way to tastefully include that topic, breaking the taboo on sex work. Marijuana new to the world, and we're decriminalizing it because they can't stop it.
Yeah.
Alcohol had a prohibition for about 5 years, and then they had to undo it. Prostitution puts women at risk because it has to be done. But it's not illegal in Trinidad, you know.
It's not?
Nope.
So then...
It's not illegal, but it's just taboo.
Okay.
So I would like to find out from actual people involved in the trade, the women, not the trade, I don't know the exact word, in the profession,
But
because...
Sorry, I was going to say it's a trade, trading something for... But, no, I think removing the taboo on it could possibly help us understand and even help. So then if it is not illegal, the raids are because some of these women are being trafficked.
A fireman just messaged me. Everybody want to be a fireman, tell a fireman to make plenty money, and he laughed. He's like, crack him up. No, well, trafficking is taking place because, alright, in European countries they have red light districts where you could literally go and do business transaction, everything copacetic, so people do their business on the up and up. But because you have to hide and do this business, unscrupulous people take advantage of that situation. And it's just that I think, because for women who this is their reality, they should not have to function outside of the state. They should have all of the benefits. If it is something that we're going to say is not illegal and that you are free to choose this as a profession, then give them all of the support.
Dental, healthcare, pay taxes, full rates.
Some of the things that you say.
That I say? What wrong with that?
Dental and healthcare.
Stranded by the bar for Carnival. $20 Canadian advance ticket. Our PEP Toronto team is having their first fundraiser for the year. It is in Calypso Hut. That's where they had the Back in Times party, number 263 Queen Street, East Brampton. So for all of you who are in Toronto, in nearby Brampton, Ontario, Canada, I hope I'm pronouncing all of those things right, Stranded by the Bar for Carnival is happening on Saturday, February the 22nd from 10 p.m. They are not they're taking part in the carnival activities too in the cold, because I know it's kind of cold in Canada right now. The early bird tickets are sold out. I believe early bird tickets were 15 Canadian dollars. I need to go and party in Canada because
for
tickets here just ridiculous. Somebody asked me if I'm fat in this carnival. I say no, just because everything is so expensive.
I listened to the fellas. I was in a grocery, and the fellas who packing the cucumber and the tomato talking about a canal road, and I think it was $1,000 and out there at a good time. Yeah. And I said, is either cucumber packing making money, or you really not. You have no regard for your. To make me and what's my $1,000 is a lot of money to me. To make me spend $1,000 to go in a party. Satish, you would spend $1,000 to go in a party? Satish say yes. Satish
For those who are taking shot, he's shake his head. Definitely no. I ever spent $1,000 to go.
You would have spent $1,000.
No. But there are some fets, those all-inclusive fets that I think the most I spent was $650, and that really hurt. It hurts.
Listen, man, I pay money to go to a UE Fed once. When they tell me the amount of the ticket, I thought I enrolled.
You thought I was the tuition fee for the year?
I thought I enrolled in UE. I didn't know this was just the Fed. When I reached the Fed, I asked them, where to put my stuff? Where my locker? Where my class?
20 Canadian dollars for those stranded by the bar tickets. Pep New York is also having their fundraiser on the same day.
I just trying to understand this stranded concept. I know they have a fetish child called stranded by the pool. What does it mean?
It means that
again,
you're stuck. No. I guess it means that you're stuck there until the start to the end of the event.
Stranded by the microphone. Yeah, in New York.
Pep New York. Denise Xavier and team. Good morning to you, Denise. I know you're watching us. They're having their Pep Soup Sale fundraiser, which is same day as the Canadian Stranded by the Bar event.
I find it not regular. I like that.
What's that?
A lot of times that New York is having, the New York chapter of the Pep is having something. Toronto is having something as well, and it's.
I would just like to say, as the head of finance, it's not coincidental. Myself and my team, we sit and we plan our events for the year, and we look at dates that coincide, and we look at including and having unity in the party and all of that. So while we having an event, they are having an event, and they feel a part of the entire Pep family.
Right. Valentine's Day roses.
1 second, 15 US for your Pep soup. It's also cold in New York, so warm up in the Big Apple with some cow heel or corn soup.
You call me name there, boy.
Call 347-500-1457 to place an order. I heard soup actually sell out. They have to make more soup.
Listen now.
Place an order for
when you like
soup.
A cow heel soup, that is something that you just have to get past the first time they give you a bowl of.
I don't like it.
I love every part of that. But when I done with a cow heel, the bones, you could use them for marbles.
We have seen. Corn is my preference. I love a corn soup. So get your cow heel or your corn soup, 15 US, some nice Trini home style soup on a nice cold day. Drink some
hot soup.
Today, the Pep women, they're also having their Valentine's Day sale. So all the guys in the doghouse, all the women who want to surprise their men. I turned it both ways. All the women who want to surprise the men, because I think women should get their husbands and their significant others.
Stop giving them things to buy. Go home and bake a cake for your wife.
Please do not take him on. This is a Pep fundraising event.
Okay,
please
but buy the roses. Buy the roses. But the commercialization. Listen, woman, go home and give your man a pedicure. Men, go home and make a cake for your woman. Treat them nice. Everything ought to be something that you buy. I just say, but the roses, buy Pep roses.
So with the pedicure and the cake, feel free to include one or a bunch of roses from the Pep. Help us raise funds because it's what we do.
Your man would like plenty men pretend they don't like a pedicure, but a pedicure, I mean, it's they call it what they call it now, a manicure. No, there's a manicure is your hands. They have a name. Sati shaking his head. Your brain will fall out. Huh?
Manicure, maybe you could call it.
No, they came up with a name that sounded a little less feminine for men who are not metro. Any more ads?
I have nothing else to push. I talk about the Valentine's Day roses that's happening today.
9 o'clock in the morning t-shirts. Satish, give us one so we could demonstrate what it is we're talking about. We're having
a sale on them, $49. That's a huge reduction for Carnival only. Those t-shirts.
Carnival t-shirts. Get your Carnival t-shirts 9 o'clock in the morning. Standing up in town, trying to fet in a law-abiding manner. 9 o'clock in the morning. It's how that went. The man take me serious. It's how that went viral. 9 o'clock in the morning. Hey,
what you doing?
You play my song for the day? Satish learning sign language. Can't talk. 9 o'clock in the morning. Satish, when we taking this break, find my song. When we taking this break, find my song so you could play that so they understand. 9. You want one?
No.
It's how much, man?
$49.
I'll buy one for you. I'm taking a break to play 9 o'clock in the morning. Tell me what you're doing. Nothing to work. Nothing to work. Nothing to work. People calling me, boy, and asking me to come and do dub plates. I didn't know what that is.
Your mother called me to ask me when.
See, you're going to cuss me.
No.
I swear you're going to cuss me.
Your mommy called me. She said, when Philip performing his song, I said, girl, you know, Philip is the busiest person.
9 o'clock in the morning. Satish, you cue me? You queued up? This break is sponsored by
9 o'clock in the morning.
Get your Hey! There we go!
Why did she hold it like that? Why did she hold it like that? The whole country in a hole, everything out of control.
What is?
Why did she hold it like that?
Check it out! 9 o'clock in the morning.
Tell me what you doing.
9 o'clock in the morning.
What you about? What you about?
9 o'clock in the morning.
Tell me what you doing.
9 o'clock in the morning.
What you about? What you about?
9 o'clock on the dot. And you can't reach the work. Why?
Follow the main road.
There's a flood on the main road. 9 o'clock on the dot. You're in the same spot. Why?
Traffic on the highway. Traffic on the highway.
Organized crime. It's organized crime. Everywhere you turn. Crime and more crime. White collar crime. Blue collar crime. No color crime. We running out of time.
Why did she hold it like that? Why did she hold it like that? The whole country in a hole, everything out of control.
What is?
Why did she hold it like that?
There we go now. 9 o'clock in the morning.
Tell me what you doing.
9 o'clock in the morning.
What you about? What you about?
9 o'clock in the morning.
Tell me what you doing.
9 o'clock in the morning.
What you about? What you about?
9 o'clock on the dot. No food in the pot. Why?
Follow the main road. Follow the main road.
9 o'clock in the day. You can't see your way. Why?
Traffic on the highway. Traffic on the highway.
9 o'clock on the dot. No food in the pot. Bills, bills, bills and more bills. Bills, bills, bills and more bills.
Nothing to work. 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 Nothing to work.
$3 trillion spent, nothing to show. That's how it go in a land named Trinbago. Check this.
Nothing to work. Nothing to work.
Nothing. Public health fail. Public works fail. Local government fail. Central government fail.
Nothing to work. 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 Nothing to work.
57 years. Tears. 57 years. Prayers.
Nothing to work. Nothing to work. Nothing to work.
No bread in the kitchen. No gas in the car. No water in the pipe. Everybody by the bar. Hole in the pavement. Hole in your shoe. Hole in your wallet. There's only holes for you.
Nothing to work. 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 Why did she hold it like that? Why did she hold it like that? The whole country in a hole, everything out of control. Why did she hold it like that?
We're back?
I think that's what he said.
No, we're back.
The
We're
man
now
in
back.
master control. Oh, we now back?
Yes, we're now back. We are back. And we are in the last 20 minutes of the show, and I wanted to read some of the comments. Before I did read the comments, I want to say good morning, a special good morning to one of our peppers, Colin Adams, who I got a notification, just made a donation to the party. Thank you very much. And for anybody else wondering how you can make a donation to the party, just visit our website at peptt.com and click on the option to donate. You can set up monthly recurrent payments, or you can make a one-time donation, any amount that you feel moved to give. We have a comment on the
Give
live.
till it hurts.
We have a comment on the live this morning from Sheriff Ali. Good morning, Mr. Alexander and Felicia. My name is Felicia, but I'll forgive you for that.
How you spell it?
Felicia.
Of course, you're lucky anyway.
How you feel when people spell your name with one L?
Nobody spell my name with one L. They know I am the more expensive version. Continue.
Missed you guys yesterday. Question: how does the PEP intend to stimulate our economy and to revamp growth, given the current and past administrations have decimated our finances? The next government will need money and a lot of it in order to kickstart our now totally dead economy. What areas would the PEP start with and how? I know this is a big and broad question, but just asking. And by the way, don't take a day off again, okay, boss? Ooh, just told.
Right. Well, the number one issue that needs to be tackled in Trinidad and Tobago before you could do anything else is corruption. You can't collect water in a rice strainer. You know, fill all them holes. There are people who believe that more than 50% of our annual budget is stolen, mismanaged, wasted, cost overrun, all the different ways that they find to pilfer treasury funds. We need to quickly end white-collar crime and corruption at government level. And the fastest way to do that is to shut down all of the special purpose companies, UDCOT, HTC, EFCL, EMBD, Sport TT, all of them. Shut them down, audit them to find where our money went, go back for what you could get back, put it back in the treasury. But when you shut down those special purpose companies, you replace them with a public, robust, and transparent tenders committee that is responsible for the provision of goods and services to and from government, arm's length from the buyer and the seller. It creates a proper transparency and accountability process, something that could be published. All companies that do business with the state must be transparent. The beneficial shareholders must be known. Every contract awarded above $1 million should be published in the newspaper, in the Gazette. Interlocking directors and multiples of companies owned by the same director that get in multiples of rentals or contracts or projects need to be exposed and examined. We need to put corruption to bed first. Once that is dealt with, and we have quick plans to get it done fast. People are going to ask, but what about the workers in those special purpose companies? Where are they going to go? They will be absorbed back into the process of managing education and health and public works and social development and management and all the other things that need the assistance, and the gap that exists in the public service. When you go and you realize that there's no leadership and there's no management and there's no service, is because everything is geared towards projects and contracts and not enough geared to actually serving the public. And we're going to flip that script and turn that around. Simultaneously, the diversification of the economy is critical, away from oil and gas. The vicissitudes of oil and gas industry, especially now, as the world is shifting to green and renewable energies. Trinidad and Tobago needs to explore all of its options. A Progressive Empowerment Party government would, for the first 5 years of its term in office, have 2 ministers of finance. One, a minister of the economy, to manage what is going on at present, and a minister of diversification to lead the economy into new and uncharted territory to bring us closer to our goal, our target. And we are setting a target of massive growth for Trinidad and Tobago. Our current GDP hovers around 22 billion US a year, And we believe it should be more in the order of 400 billion USA. And that is compared to, and we're using Singapore as our guide. Singapore, which is half the size of Trinidad and Tobago, has a GDP of 322 billion, and they don't have gas, they don't have oil, they don't have a pitch lake, and they don't have an agriculture sector or Tobago. So we believe that there's a saying, if you don't know where you're going, you can't get there. We need to set a target and work to it. And if we set a target of 400 billion GDP, we will identify all economic avenues and income streams that could contribute to that. Along the way, from 22 billion to 400 billion, we will transform this economy. There will be no more temporary or transient jobs. All the URPs and CPEPs will be replaced by real career opportunities for people, taking you in from wherever you find yourself along the road of life and giving you every opportunity to train and improve your own skill set and your own education to maximize your earning potential and give everybody hope and opportunity. There are a lot of ways we plan to diversify, but the biggest part of it is utilizing our position on the globe, the only tropical destination outside of the hurricane belt. That should have been maximized 57 years ago. The Chinese say the best time to plant a tree is now. It's 20 years ago, the second best time is now. So vote yourself a progressive empowerment policy to begin the process of creating a real economy built on sustainable jobs, diversification, and a plan. Right now what we have is policy on the hoof and government by VAPs. It's time to fix that. Vote a government in office that can give you its economic agenda, its legislative agenda, so you know up front where we're trying to go, and you could get the better country that you always knew we always needed. In a nutshell.
Great response.
You've been taking me on.
I kind of wasn't.
Oh, he's done talking now. Shake my head. Yes, great response.
I heard some parts of it. I was reading some of the comments on the live this morning. Somebody else said, Happy Valentine's Day, Trinidad and Tobago. Did I lose the comments? I did lose the comments. Somebody else said, why didn't you sing the song? And I think so. Why don't you sing the song?
9 o'clock in the morning. Tell me what you're doing.
That's it?
I would love to have Kurt and Chocolate Allen in here giving me backup. They're really talented. Boy.
Seeing as this is the test week, I think so on a Friday we should have
entertainment.
Yes. Move out the table and you all.
It is not the intention that Philip Edward Alexander be a regular host of this show. I want you to know, all of you looking on, that this show was created as a vehicle for the deputy political leaders, the chairman, and other frontline members of the party to get more face time with you and get to know you better. I'll be a regular guest because but I don't like having the responsibility for the show. This week we didn't have a Plain Talk. And Plain Talk is a signature show that we do here in PEP Media, and Plain Talk brings a lot of salient information to you by other members of the public who are, I guess, trained or knowledgeable in their respective fields. Any other questions, ma'am?
No, well, we do, but I can't access it anymore because it's on the live. So I just get in the comments in the order that it's coming. Janelle Gay Levy said, mash up the corruption and even the appearance of corruption. I guess
Indeed.
That's in response to your contribution. Sal's Jagasa Saldine, less than a week for you to cut. Yep. TikTok less than a week to respond.
Are we going to pursue it? And I want you to understand that staring into the double barrel of 5 pre-action protocol letters, we didn't flinch. We are going forward until we have the information about what took place at President's house. We sent a letter requesting a tour of the cottage to Her Excellency the President. Her Excellency's office responded that they thought we might be confused, that there is something different between the cottage and the President's house. No, we're not confused. One cost 89 million, the other cost 17, out of the 106 million that we spent. We first want to see the cottage. When we're ready to see the President's house, ma'am, we'll write you about that. Trinidad and Tobago needs leadership that is willing to break down all of these fake walls and false barriers to the truth. And the truth we want to get to. And I've told you, the court, prove me wrong. I've had to explain to people all since this matter started, what a scope of works is and what a bill of quantities is. If you're going to build a wall, a scope of works is to describe the wall, the height, the length, the breadth, the width, the type of wall, what it's supposed to do. Is it a load-bearing wall? Is it supposed to hold back soil? Is it supposed to hold back water? What is the purpose of the wall? And out of that, you will get a bill of quantities. How much blocks you need, how much cement, how much steel, how much labor, how many days. Things have a cost. All we want is the list of things and what you paid for them. Trinidad and Tobago, you're going to be surprised. Because I don't believe any of those numbers quoted are anywhere in the realm of what should have been the cost to renovate and restore the Red House, Whitehall, President's House. And we have to have an opportunity to examine the numbers because it's our money. Because it's our money. Because every time you spend it badly, you affect us negatively. Things that should be done for the country. 10,000 hospital beds. 10,000 hospital beds. China embarrassed us and built a hospital in 9 days. We can't even operate the hospitals we have. We need to undo all of that madness. And the reason we take on so many issues so consistently and constantly is to demonstrate to the people of Trinidad and Tobago that all of these problems are solutions. All of them are manufactured. All of them are fake. None of them are real. None are endemic. None are incurable. Everything could fix. Every single thing could fix. You want to fix crime in Trinidad and Tobago? Secure the nation's borders. Stop the inflow of drugs, guns, contraband, and dirty money. By the time you do that, the crime empires in Trinidad and Tobago will start to implode on themselves. The police could stand down and stand back. They'll kill one another. Those criminals will kill one another trying to find food to eat. The police will just have to secure the rest of us. But I'm saying that every single thing that you think is a problem, water in your taps, we could fix water and water service so quickly. Decentralize WASA, decentralize it to the 41 constituencies. Give every constituency responsibility for finding, sourcing, holding, treating, and distributing its own water. We as a nation get more rainfall than we could ever consume. We've designed our water system to collect the bounty of rainfall and dump it in the sea. That needs to change. We've told you what the problems are and we've shown you the solutions. All of a sudden, political parties are popping up and propping up and talking policies that they've learned from me and from us. They've read our policies. We've released. This was all from a book that I was writing over the course of 2 decades called Reboot the Republic. 21 of the policies we just released as a sneak peek. People join the whole party and think that's the whole manifesto. At the very least, we have 100 items that we think are critical to the redevelopment of Trinidad and Tobago. It's something we call undo and redo. And it is why we've had a public meeting every Saturday since we launched. And it is why our teams, every time new people join, there are opportunities through the mobilization team to be schooled, to learn what the policies are and how they affect Trinidad and how they work. Akil Kamps, who's the head of the North Hub, he said once, and I'll never forget, all the policies work together for a better Trinidad and Tobago. That's a fact. This is the first time there's an actual blueprint to a better Trinidad and Tobago. The public are being given the opportunity to involve themselves in the conversation. It's a healthy time for Trinidad and Tobago.
It is. Why you get quiet?
Because it's not just me on the panel.
Are you done talking?
I'm done ranting.
We have 5 minutes left of the show. We did not award a Crocus Bag of Ass winner. Who were the top contestants? We had Coleman Boots.
But we didn't really finish making a comprehensive list because this is by no means a comprehensive list. And for a trial run of the Crocus Bag of Ass Awards, I think that Coleman Boots, Dennis Moses, Maria Daniel at Ernst & Young, and the owners of Zar nightclub.
I give it to Maria.
Yeah. For her audacity. Maria, on behalf of the rest of the people of Trinidad and Tobago, we'd like to present you with this award. It's a national award. It's made from recycled hemp, and so it's guaranteed to be green. All winners of the Crocus Bag of Ass Award get a complimentary rock cake and a warm glass of Moby with their award.
Well deserving.
Well deserving. Yeah.
Master Control, we definitely have to get a drum roll
And a
for the
round of applause.
and a round of applause.
And a round of applause.
What you call that?
Let's take your applause. A laugh track.
A laugh track. A laugh track and a.
We turning it into a sitcom. No, Fridays are lighter and easier. I mean, we still always inform, educate, and empower. The idea is to encourage the average person to stand up and take their democracy seriously. Today, the House of Representatives is going to debate again. Oh, you have a call?
Take a last call?
Yeah.
Hello, good morning. Hello?
That must be a butt dial.
Hello?
Yes. Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
I want to find out how you all going to drop the price, the grocery prices. And the next thing is, how do you change a country that just live on weed and rum?
That's it?
Yeah.
I will answer your offer. The culture of weed and rum, listen, Trinidadians drink and smoke and do all those things to distract themselves from the failure of this nation. Nobody's happy. We're only happy when we party and we drunk because we don't have any other chance to express ourselves. Google Maslow's hierarchy of needs and you'll see what a fully optimized human being is. And you'll see how lacking we are and why Trinidadians, when they land in a foreign country and they assimilate themselves into a real culture, how they bloom. Because they realize that this is what a human is supposed to have access to. All of these things. On the other thing about reducing the price of food, is as simple as putting all food growing land to grow food, to focus our energies on making Trinidad food self-sufficient, food independent, and a net food exporter in quick time. Yeah? Somebody wrote me and it says, good morning. There's something that's really bothering me. Trinidadians and Tobagonians died on the Red House and the country in the Red House and the country in 1990. They are quiet heroes. They did not volunteer for deployment. They were circumstantially picked. A commemorative flame was lit on the ground of the Red House. It was allowed by the government of the day. It should be seen as a state monument in the same way as Arlington Cemetery is in the US. Why did the current government remove it? Why? And there's been no word from the rubber stamp president on this. No word from the Free Press, no word from the opposition, no word from Winston Dukran, no word. No word from Gary Griffith as at least one police officer was blown to bits and police headquarters burnt down. Can you please reach out to the families of the dead and say something loudly? I find it's an embarrassment and a humiliation to this nation. When we're coming up to 9/11 in the United States of America, months before they start advertising and counting down to their celebration of the ignobility and the madness, the horror that was there 9/11. Our July 27, 1990 was the lowest point in this democracy. And we are supposed to honor the people who fell as heroes. That police officer who was the first person killed, shot to death outside police headquarters, he must not die in vain. Leo Devine shouldn't be dead in vain. He was a member of parliament. We need to remember all of the people who lost their lives in our version of 9/11, July 27, 1990. And no amount of political plaster and paint will make it go away. I believe to this day nobody understands how coincidental two senior men, one the Prime Minister, two senior men, Patrick Manning and Bastio Pandey, were absent from the Parliament that day. Trinidad and Tobago will never be taken seriously until we as people take it seriously. I bet my own life on that. We need a better country. And the only way we get in there is if we take ourselves seriously, have some respect for ourselves and each other, and stand up for this country.
Well said. And I did listen to that one. It's 8 o'clock in the morning.
Tell me what you're doing.
I am going home to get.
That's the actual song I was quoting. I don't know what she answered. Hey, bring it to a wrap, bring it to a close.
I know it.
Thank you for having me.
Trinidad and Tobago, all of our viewers, all of our peppers, thank you for tuning in with us this morning. Thank you for bearing with us on all of the nonsense and tangents and
No, it's a Friday.
meandering roads that we went down. It was Friday. We had some fun with it, and I hope you were still educated, empowered, and informed. Until next week,
Stay safe.
stay safe.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Trinidad and Tobago is in a crisis. For far too long, our people have been abused and silenced by our politicians and the business elite.
Just look around you. People are losing their jobs. Crime is at an all-time high. Our justice, education, and health systems have failed.
We all know the truth behind all that is wrong in our country. Corruption is destroying us. Billions of our dollars are being looted by a small group of business people that use our politicians to divide and distract us.
So they can take what they want, leaving us with no hope for a better country.
All of this is because we've never had leaders who seek the interests of the citizenry as their first priority.
I am here because I'm not taking it anymore.
I am here because I am not taking it anymore.
I am fed up of politics as it is in Trinidad and Tobago.
It is time we elect leaders with the backbone and the love of our people to go after the corrupt, evil elements in our country, hell-bent on serving their own pockets while we suffer.
And it is time that we as a nation take a collective stand against wrongdoing.
So we are making a plea to the nation to rally behind us.
Because our freedom of speech is being threatened by those who don't want us speaking out on these issues.
A man that I greatly respect is one of those leaders fighting for a better country. His name is Philip Edward Alexander, and he has bravely challenged the people and institutions that are destroying our nation.
To date, he has been threatened with 5 lawsuits for having the courage to ask state agency UDCOT on why the renovations of the President's house cost $89 million.
When experts in the field have estimated that that job should have never crossed 20 million.
Where did the rest of our money go?
We refuse to stand by and allow any agency to use our courts to try and silence and punish Philip or any other citizen of our country for trying to seek the truth.
If you're fed up of corruption and want to be a part of real change, support Philip and the Progressive Empowerment Party in this fight.
This fight is not for him or us to bear alone.
It is a fight for you, our loved ones, and our friends.
It is a fight for the future of our country.
You can help by making a contribution to Philip's legal fees and help him and PEP expose the truth and shine light over the darkness of corruption.
Go to our website at peptt.com, click on donate and see all the ways you can pitch in.
There is hope. Our country can be saved, but we all need to stand together. My name is Felicia Holder, Chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support.
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 I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.